My name is Dr. Ed Bennett, and I'm Associate Professor of Optometry at the University of Missouri St. Louis College of Optometry. The goal of this module is to provide a clinical approach that will optimize initial comfort while also likely increasing your success with GP contact lenses. The title of this program is Optimizing Initial Comfort of GP Lenses. This program is brought to you by the GP Lens Institute, the educational division of the Contact Lens Manufacturers Association. What are the challenges of fitting GP lenses today? Many practitioners were trained predominantly in soft lenses. Spectacles are being promoted more and more every day. There is the increasing use of disposable soft lenses, and yes, there is the issue of lens awareness. But interestingly enough, established GP fitters do not have a problem with comfort. Every practice should fit GPs, and you know what? They're easy to fit, they have numerous applications, and they should certainly be comfortable. The goal of this module is to provide a clinical approach that will optimize initial comfort while also likely increasing your success with GP contact lenses. There are numerous candidates for GP lenses, including those with astigmatism, borderline dry eyes, anyone in need of being refit into another material, irregular corneas, presbyopia, children, and those who are undergoing orthokeratology for myopia control. Who are good candidates for GP lenses? For anyone with astigmatism, GP lenses provide a smoother corneal contour, which results in better vision. For individuals with borderline dry eyes, the more wettable surface of the GP lens results in less dryness-induced complications. Any soft lens wearer who's experiencing either reduced vision or induced complications can be successfully refit into a GP lens. Individuals with any form of irregular cornea benefit visually from the fact that the GP lens smooths out some of this irregularity. For individuals with presbyopia, the improved GP multifocal designs result in vision that rivals that of spectacles. GP lenses provide good vision and may actually slow down the progression of myopia. With orthokeratology, GP lenses are able to reduce existing myopia in some patients. GP lenses have many benefits. The first benefit I'd like to discuss is the quality of vision. The vision from the GP lens is superior as a result of better optical quality, good surface wettability, and the ability to correct astigmatism. There is a study performed by Johnson and Schneider where they fit 20 patients into GP lenses for 6 weeks and also soft lenses for 6 weeks. All of these patients were unadapted wearers and good candidates for both modalities. The results found that the vision was better and corneal staining less with GP lenses. 8 of the 20 individuals prefer GPs, and 15 of the 20 would be quite satisfied wearing them. Another benefit of GP lenses is ocular health. GP lenses provide oxygen transmission that is 2 to 4 times greater than with hydrogel lenses, and they have the benefits of good tear exchange and surface wettability versus all soft lenses, including silicone hydrogels, that result in reduced incidence of both giant papillary conjunctivitis and ocular infection. Other benefits of GP lenses include the surface wettability, durability, and stability of these lens materials. GP lenses can also result in a reduction in myopia progression. Studies with young people, including the LORIC study by Pauline Cho, the CRAYON study by Jeff Walleen, and the ROCK study by Helen Swarbrick, have all demonstrated that corneal reshaping can result in slowing of axial length growth. GP lenses can result in both increased patient retention and increased profitability to your practice. Better patient retention with GP lenses occurs as a result of the fact they are custom devices. They're not commonly available through alternative sources such as the internet, and they are rarely price advertised. You can use your service agreement for replacement contact lenses, as well as solutions, glasses, and other profit centers within your practice. With the Fairness to Contact Lens Consumers Act, it's evident that GP lens wearers are even more loyal today returning to your practice. GP lenses can represent an excellent profit center for your practice. In a study by Keith Ames, he found that 38% of his new contact lens wearing patients were fit into GPs, but they represented 48% of the profit to his practice. He and his partner John Gunning found that the profit for replacement lenses was higher versus soft lenses. They also obtained additional office revenue from spectacle sales and were able to provide 8 times as many service agreements to GP versus their soft lens patients. Well, how do you optimize GP comfort? Let me recommend a 5-step approach including presentation, use of a topical anesthetic, good initial vision, material selection, and lens design and fitting relationship. The first step to optimizing GP lens comfort is how you present GP lenses to your patient. It is understandable for the practitioner to be apprehensive if, in fact, the patient feels likewise. However, the first step in diffusing this situation is how GP lenses are presented to the patient. For the new practitioner, this may be daunting. They may think they've not had enough education, that GP lenses take too much time, and, of course, that they may be too uncomfortable. There are several important factors when you're presenting GP lenses to a patient. Gauge their reaction to several ocular tests. How sensitive are they when you're performing intraocular pressure, when you're instilling drops, everting lids? If they are a high reactor, you might want to very gradually adapt them to GP lenses if they are to be fit at all. The multi-center study entitled The Effect of Personality Profile and Verbal Presentation on Initial Comfort and Adaptation to Rigid Gas Permeable Lenses shows just how important presentation is. In this study, 49 subjects, all non-contact lens wearers, were randomly assigned to 3 groups. One observed a video of a doctor talking to a patient about GP adaptation using fear-arousing terms such as discomfort. Another group watched that same doctor talking to a patient, but using neutral language such as lens awareness and lid sensation. However, it was apparent that he wasn't enthused about this option. The third group listened to the same doctor using neutral terms, but it was obvious that this doctor was enthused about GP lenses. All of the subjects were fit into GP lenses for a 1-month period of time, but it's important to note that 6 out of the 19 subjects dropped out who were in the fear-arousing group. 2 out of the 17 in the neutral non-enthusiastic group dropped out, but none of the 13 patients who were given an enthusiastic but neutral approach during the fitting process dropped out of the study. All subjects were asked to submit a daily questionnaire throughout the entire time of the study. It is important to note that the fear-arousing group only submitted half of their questionnaires. The neutral non-enthusiastic group only slightly more than half. But the group that had the neutral but enthusiastic presentation submitted 87% of their questionnaires. Therefore, it is evident the method of presentation of GP lenses can affect success. If presented negatively, there is a significantly greater risk of discontinuation of lens wear during the first month of wear. Subjects provided with a positive approach to GPs were most likely to be compliant with submitting daily questionnaires. The second factor in optimizing initial GP comfort is the use of a topical anesthetic. It is critical for the patient's first experience to be a positive one with GP lenses, and how they react to the first few minutes of lens wear could determine whether they will be successful. If GP lenses are perceived more positively by patients initially, less negative comments and fewer dropouts should result. Which brings us to topical anesthetic use. Historically, topical anesthetic use has been controversial. The concerns expressed have included corneal staining resulting from epithelial softening, the effect of eye rubbing on a numb cornea, and the possibility of misleading the patient as the effect is only temporary. However, there are also many potential benefits of the use of a topical anesthetic, especially when competing with soft lenses today. These benefits include improved initial comfort, less reflex tearing, less initial chair time, and greater patient satisfaction. The results of a multi-center study entitled "The Effect of Topical Anesthetic Use on Initial Patient Satisfaction and Overall Success with Rigid Gas Permeable Contact Lenses" support the use of a topical anesthetic for all new lens wearers. This study was a 1-month study involving 80 subjects who were fit at 4 colleges of optometry and were all new GP wearers. 40 of these individuals were given Opthane immediately prior to the fitting, and 40 were given a placebo at the fitting visit. During the course of this 1-month study, 10 individuals dropped out of the study, and it's important to note that 8 of the 10 were in the placebo group. It was found from the questionnaires used in this study that both subject satisfaction and their perception of adaptation were significantly better if a topical anesthetic was used prior to the fit. What is the bottom line pertaining to anesthetic use? It is important to allow the anesthetic effect to wear off, such that the patient does ultimately experience realistic awareness. Topical anesthetic is recommended for all new GP wearers, but especially beneficial with children, keratoconics, soft lens refits, and any apprehensive patients. Remember, you have to compete with the comfort and efficiency provided by soft lenses. The third step in optimizing GP lens initial comfort is providing good initial vision. It is likely if the patient achieves good vision with their initial GP lenses, they will be less cognizant of lens awareness. In other words, the potential for the wow factor, when they determine how well they can actually see out of the lenses, is excellent. Good initial vision can be accomplished by using either an empirical or inventory fitting approach. Empirical fitting is very easy and successful today due to improvements in manufacturing technology. These improvements include the introduction of ultra-thin designs and standard peripheral curve systems. Typically, you can either provide refractive information to the laboratory, or, if desired, every laboratory has a nomogram. In fact, the use of a simple nomogram program makes empirical fitting easy and successful. Empirical fitting is commonly used for spherical and multifocal designs and offers the benefit of good initial vision, ease of fitting, and patient satisfaction. Another approach to providing good initial vision is to fit out of an inventory set. These inventories typically require a minimum of 120 to 200 lenses. The benefits include good initial vision, the convenience of fitting out of stock, making quick parameter changes, and offering lens replacements. The fourth step in optimizing GP lens initial comfort is selection of the most comfortable material. Fluorosilicon acrylate materials are recommended for these patients. These materials combine fluorine with the ingredients of a silicone acrylate material to enhance mucin interaction with the lens surface. This results in both good surface wettability and stability. Therefore, initial comfort is increased. The most recent generation of FSA materials have optimum surface wettability, are more scratch resistant, and can be manufactured in ultra-thin designs. These materials can be divided by their decay or oxygen permeability value. Low decay materials have values between 25 to 50. They are a viable option for all daily wear myopes. High decay materials have values between 51 to 99. These materials meet the oxygen requirements for hyperopic patients, but they can certainly be worn by myopic patients as well. Hyper-decay materials have values equal to or greater than 100, and these materials are often approved by the FDA for extended wear, although they can be fit to daily wear myopes and hyperopes as well. Many of today's materials are plasma treated. Most eye care practitioners believe it is a coating, like a car wax, but it actually utilizes electrical energy to change the structure of the lens surface. It is becoming very popular as the treating of GP polymers with plasma is a very effective cleaning method to remove any remaining residues such as oils, solvents, and waxes from the manufacturing process. It also significantly reduces the surface wetting angle. Most important, it has been shown that plasma treatment can increase initial comfort. The fifth and final factor important in optimizing initial GP lens comfort is the lens design and fitting relationship. The first lens design parameter to be evaluated is diameter. It has been found that large diameter lenses improve initial comfort. Whether it's a 10 mm or an 11 mm plus intralimbal, or a semi or mini scleral design, comfort is improved due to less lens movement with the blink and less lid interaction. A study was performed at the University of Missouri St. Louis which evaluated initial comfort on new lens wearers. These individuals wore lenses with different base curve radii, edge lifts, and diameters. And when evaluating comfort on a scale of 0 to 5, with 0 being uncomfortable and 5 being very comfortable, the one parameter that had a significant effect on comfort was the overall diameter. The larger diameter lens, which in this case consisted of a 10.2 mm diameter, resulted in an initial comfort rating of 4.2 on a 5-point scale. To optimize initial comfort, it is important to strive for a lid attachment lens to cornea fitting relationship, where the upper lid is overlapping the upper edge of the lens. However, in cases where the upper lid position is at or above the superior limbus, a small diameter lens design, for example 9 mm, in a steeper base curve radius will be necessary to obtain an intrapalpebral fitting relationship. The next important factor in lens design and optimizing lens comfort is the lens to cornea fitting relationship. As mentioned before, an important factor in the lens to cornea fitting relationship is to achieve lid attachment, if at all possible. The base curve radius selection optimizes the lens to cornea fitting relationship. It is often selected close to the flatter keratometry value, or K value. You can use the manufacturer's nomogram for a specific design, or generic nomograms such as the one presented here for base curve radius selection. As the cornea is aspheric and flattens toward the periphery, it is not uncommon to select a base curve radius slightly flatter than K to achieve an alignment fitting relationship. For patients having greater than 2.5 diopters of corneal cylinder, a bitoric lens design is recommended. The third lens design factor to optimize initial comfort is the use of a blend. The purpose of a blend is to smooth out the junctions between peripheral curves. The blend can either be light, medium, or heavy. GP lens designs should be well blended to prevent possible sharp junction problems, to provide an even tear flow resulting in good debris removal, to minimize adherence of the lens to the cornea, and to optimize the initial comfort. The fourth lens design factor important in optimizing initial lens comfort is edge clearance. Excessive edge lift or clearance acts in a funnel-like manner, drawing out the surrounding tear pool. The resulting lid gap, occurring because of the increased distance from lid to cornea, may further exaggerate this process. You can decrease edge lift or clearance by steepening the peripheral curve radius, decreasing the peripheral curve width, or increasing the number of peripheral curves. Aspheric lens designs have the benefits of better pressure distribution, resulting in a uniform edge clearance, an improved lens to cornea fitting relationship, and initial comfort. Another lens design parameter important in optimizing initial lens comfort is center thickness. One of the most important improvements in GP manufacturing technology is the ability to make ultra-thin designs. They are recommended for all patients with less than or equal to 1.5 diopters of corneal cylinder. Every CLMA member laboratory has several ultra-thin designs from which you can choose. They significantly reduce lens mass and potentially improve the lens to cornea fitting relationship. Here you can see that a 0.19 mm center thickness lens in a -2 diopter power tends to drop inferiorly with the blink. In this example, Reducing the center thickness to 0.15 millimeters results in a better lens to cornea fitting relationship, but as you can tell, lid attachment has not been achieved. Using an ultra-thin lens design, for example, where the center thickness is only 0.12 millimeters, results in an optimum lens to cornea fitting relationship and potentially better lens comfort. One of the most critical factors for good initial comfort is the edge design. The application of a lenticular design, when indicated, is also beneficial. This results in a more uniform edge thickness. Therefore, centration and comfort can be improved. A plus lenticular is recommended to thin a high minus edge for powers greater than or equal to -5 diopters. A minus lenticular design is recommended to increase the edge thickness for all plus and low minus powers. The diagram on your left shows the amount of thickness that can be removed when using a plus lenticular on a high minus lens. The diagram on your right shows how much you can increase the edge thickness when you use a minus lenticular on a plus or low minus power lens. This shows a -9 diopter lens with a 0.27 edge thickness, resulting from the fact that a plus lenticular was not used in this case. As you can tell, the lens tends to drop inferiorly as a result of the thick edge and the greater lens to lid interaction. Now you see the same patient with a -9 diopter lens power, but with the addition of a plus lenticular, which reduced the edge thickness in half. As you can see, there is now a lid attachment fitting relationship and potentially better initial comfort. Here you can see a plus power lens with no lenticular present. The lens has a very thin edge, but has a very thick center, and therefore the lens tends to drop inferiorly with the blink. Now you see the same lens with the addition of a minus lenticular, and a lid attachment lens to cornea fitting relationship is achieved, as well as potentially better initial comfort. When discussing the influence of lens design on initial comfort, it is important to emphasize that an inferiorly decentered lens is a potentially uncomfortable one. This fitting relationship can result in many complications, including reduced vision, variable vision and glare, limbal irritation resulting in 3 and 9 o'clock staining, lens dislocation off the cornea, and poor corneal alignment resulting in areas of excessive flattening and areas of excessive steepening with the possibility of inducing corneal distortion. And finally, inferior decentration can result in lens awareness. Inferior decentration, however, can be easily managed. The use of an ultra-thin lens, a design that has less edge clearance, the appropriate use of a lenticular, the application of a bitoric lens design with high corneal astigmatism, and finally obtaining a lid attachment fitting relationship can all minimize the incidence of this problem. A reminder, when you make lens design changes to improve both the fitting relationship and initial lens comfort, make sure that the design change is significant. And that means changing the overall diameter and optical zone diameter by at least 0.3 millimeters, changing the base curve radius at least 1/2 diopter, changing the center thickness by at least 0.03 millimeters, changing the peripheral curve radius at least 1 millimeter, and changing the peripheral curve width by at least 0.2 millimeters. To help you with your GP lens wearing patients, there are numerous resources available from the GP Lens Institute at www.gpli.info. These include the practitioner fitting aids shown here. The GPLI has online educational modules, including toric, keratoconus, patient education, multifocals, and staff training. There are CDs available that cover GP lens fitting and problem solving, as well as multifocals. There is a clinical management guide that will help you with fitting spherical and specially designed GP lenses. Finally, there are fluorescein pattern and application cards to help you with spherical and multifocal fitting. Other resources include a Mandel-Moore bitoric calculator patient brochures pertaining to lens care and multifocals, a GP lens material and design guide, a gas-permeable lens solutions guide, and online symposia and webinars on topics such as multifocals, high astigmatism, irregular cornea, corneal reshaping, and problem solving. The GP Lens Institute also has an online book. The GP Case Grand Rounds Troubleshooting Guide has over 70 case studies along with their management. These cases are all unique and divided into the following categories: spherical, including dryness and decentration cases, toric, multifocal, keratoconus, post-surgical, and corneal reshaping. Primary and alternative management solutions are also provided. This resource provides an online guide a practitioner can access while in the examination room to troubleshoot any GP case, such as the one shown here. Of course, it goes without saying that your best resource is your CLMA member laboratory, with trained consultants that can help with training, design, fitting, and problem solving with both spherical and specialty GP designs. They'll assist with fitting sets and inventories to help make your patients successful. Go to www.gpli.info for member laboratories and the lens designs and materials they manufacture via the GPLI online product guide. Another valuable resource is a popular contact lens consumer website, www.contactlenses.org. Here you will find information on many popular consumer contact lens topics with an emphasis on GP benefits and applications. Consider linking your office website to contactlenses.org. If you fit GP lenses in your office, consider adding your name to our GP practitioner locator. In summary, GPs are often the lenses of choice for astigmatic patients, young people, presbyopes, people with irregular corneas, and anyone who has critical vision needs. The bottom line is, established contact lens practitioners do not have a problem with comfort. Once experience is gained with GP lenses, patient satisfaction, practitioner enthusiasm, and practice growth are common outcomes. GP lenses can build your practice.